Good morning, evening, or afternoon. My name is Sigma. I'm your host here at the Tavern, and welcome to an episode of Take10, a tabletop series that takes place on Tuesday. Try saying that 3 times fast. Today I'm joined with Emu, who plays Dobrax in
Hi
Oblivion,
there.
a Star Wars story. So, Dobrax, you actually came to me with today's topic. But before we get into that, I want to know just exactly how long you've been playing role-playing games.
Okay. Well, okay. If my simple math is good, it's been around 8 years of my life I've been playing role-playing games.
Okay, cool. What
Yeah.
do I want to know what your first role-playing game was?
My first true role-playing game was D&D, but in my heart it is always going to be Club Penguin.
Oh my god. That my heart goes out there. I miss my Puffle friends.
Waddle
Yeah. Memories.
Can we have a Club
Okay.
Penguin campaign?
We're not making a Club Penguin campaign. No, no.
I mean, you could.
But what we could, but what's more likely in the pipeline is the subject that you came to me with today, um, was an Avatar themed campaign. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, so we've got about 10 minutes, or less than now, to try and talk about an Avatar campaign. So the first question, we'll take turns reading off questions. I'll kick it off. So you asked me, would I have one of the players if we made an avatar? Which, by the way, for those of you at home, we're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, not James Cameron's Avatar with the blue aliens. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um, would I choose a player to become the avatar? And my answer is only under extreme circumstances. Um, I am under the belief that each player's story is worth as much as the others. And that was something that was really apparent to me in Avatar the Last Airbender especially, and in other there aren't a whole lot of series that do it really well, but Avatar the Last Airbender puts worth in every single one of the characters, and that's because it's such a small cast. But even with the side characters, they make the side characters. Sometimes it's goofy, but they're memorable. And like you have the four, no, you have five-ish main characters. You've got Aang, you've got Zuko, you've got Sokka, you've got Katara, and you've got Toph. Um, and
Forgetting the
then
most important one,
what is it, Appa and Momo?
Uncle Iroh.
Oh well, Uncle Iroh is kind of he is a main character, but I don't know
He's
whether or
a
not
supporting character.
he's a supporting or main character is topic for a different video. But he definitely does factor in. But it spends a lot of time making sure, of course, it's all about Aang and how much he screws up. But because literally, if it was about how Sokka was the Avatar, then it would be like it wouldn't even be a single book long. It would just be point A to point B and done. None of the screwing around.
Yeah.
But no. So um, each character is worth the same amount as the others, and giving somebody the role of Avatar puts a great weight on them. And so I, as the DM, would need to work with the players to find something that is of equal weight to that responsibility. And in that universe, there is nothing canonically as heavy as the weight of being the guardian of the world. So, other than just being the leader of one of the four nations. Long-winded answer, but that is my answer. No, I would not have one of the players be an avatar. So
Okay.
what was the next question that you had?
So the next question I had that I was really curious about was, when would you try and set this story? Because there's a lot of things that might interfere with when you want to set it.
Yeah, there is, and I haven't even watched Legend of Korra, which from everybody I've talked to, it's a waste of time. But um,
It kind of takes Avatar and kind of puts in Nazi uh, politics into it.
yeah, and we got to be careful about saying that because I mean, might not be the intent, but it is
It was
it.
confirmed as the intent.
Okay, then in that case, yeah. But um, so this goes with a follow-up question that you kind of asked me in the interim between starting recording and stuff like that. But would I just do an alternate timeline? And I'm thinking that I would just, if it were to be set in the realm of Avatar the Last Airbender, like within the canonical like universe of that's the thing, I'd probably do an alternate timeline where it's like the Fire Nation conquered the world. Like the first thing that comes to mind is a Fire Nation that rules the world, and you are part of an insurgent team of water, earth, and airbenders, or perhaps even firebenders that are fed up with the current rule system, and you're all working together. Perhaps like the White Lotus has become, spoiler alert, by the way, for Avatar the Last Airbender. Um, Perhaps you guys have formed into like there is now an army under the banner of the White Lotus fighting against the Fire Nation in an insurgent manner. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Um, so,
That could be interesting because there's a lot you could do with that. Because you could either have it as Ozai still in charge, or you could have Azula finally take over,
oh
or you can
Jesus.
just scrap that whole nightmare of the reality and make up a whole bunch of new characters that mess with the universe.
Or what if Zuko killed Aang, usurped his sister, and now it's Fire Lord Zuko, and he's like a tyrant. And
But you can't do that to my boy.
well, it's again, it's an entirely new timeline. So what if there are several different ways you can spin it? What if Aang was never found? What if the water tribes were
Fire
destroyed
Lord
completely?
Iroh.
Fire Lord Iroh. What
If
if?
his son hadn't died.
Yeah, that would
Oh,
be. What if you met his son over the course of the campaign and he was part of the White Lotus instead of Iroh?
that would be amazing.
That would be really cool. Um, that would be really cool. But that kind of ties in with the last question you had, and we're running low on time, so we'll make it quick. But what kind of creative leniencies would you implement to not mess with the timeline? Is the question you asked me or had written down in the notes. And so in the interest of, and this is going to sound crazy, but in the interest of not getting sued by Nickelodeon, would actually make a whole nother world based off of this concept. Perhaps just, I mean, you could make it take place in the same timeline with characters being mentioned and referenced, but it might just be safer in a legal sense, especially if the channel's going to grow in any kind of way, significant way, to perhaps um, just make an entirely different universe where element bending is kind of like how the Jedi of Star Wars act. It's like a chosen thing where the Force inhabits the Jedi, bending inhabits people, and I guess it's that way in the Avatar universe too. But they are the warriors of the world. They're not. And they are kind of, that is exclusively their role. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and that's 10 minutes. So, that was a very short table talk about creating a game set within the universe of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely definitely a conversation I want to continue in another episode. So maybe we'll make a part two of this and go further in depth because I really like this idea and I would love to run a campaign inside the tavern with you guys themed for Avatar. So,
That would be
uh,
very cool.
yes. So thank you for your time, Emu. It was awesome having you as always.
Been a pleasure.
And we will talk to you guys later and see you guys in Oblivion, a Star Wars story. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later.